You ever watch a woman just stop trying? It's not a fight. There's no slamming door. It's quieter than that. More final. It's the sound of her phone not buzzing. It's the way she stops asking about your day. It's the quiet sigh she lets out when you walk into the room, a breath that says, "I am so tired." I saw it in my girlfriend's eyes. We were in the kitchen, and the air was thick with everything we weren't saying. I made a joke, my usual armor, and she didn't smile. She just looked at me, and in her eyes I saw a light go out. A simple, quiet extinction. It's a collision you never see coming. The collision between her hope and your silence. And when it happens, you're left standing in the wreckage wondering where she went. The truth is, she didn't go anywhere. She's just been slowly, silently walking away from you for months. For weeks, I told myself it was a phase. She was stressed. Work was heavy. I'd give her space. That's what you're supposed to do, right? But the space I gave her just became a canyon. I remember thinking, what did I do? Was it something I said? I'd run through every conversation, looking for the landmine I'd stepped on. I bought her flowers. I suggested a trip. I did the things you're supposed to do to fix a thing that's broken. Part of me knew. A quiet, shameful part in the back of my mind whispered it. This wasn't about a single thing I did. This was about the 1,000 things I didn't do. The silence in our apartment grew teeth. It wasn't just quiet, it was heavy. It was a presence. I could feel it in my chest, a low hum of dread. I'd sit on the couch, my hand resting on my knee, and I'd watch her move through the room like a ghost, not touching anything, not really there. She'd look at my hand and then look away, and her breathing would be so quiet, so controlled. I wanted to reach out. I wanted to bridge the gap, but I was paralyzed. I was waiting for her to fix it. I was always waiting for her to fix it. I wanted to scream, to shake her, to demand to know what was wrong, but something inside me wanted to walk away too, to escape the weight of my own failure. The contradiction was a knot in my stomach. I was fighting a battle I didn't understand against an enemy I couldn't see. The enemy was the void I'd created, the unpaid therapist. This is the first truth, and it's the one that cuts the deepest. You think you're being a partner, you come home, you dump your day on her, your frustrations, your anger at your boss, your quiet anxieties about life. You use her as a sounding board, a shock absorber for all the chaos in your world. You believe this is intimacy. This is sharing. But here's what no one tells you. You are not sharing. You are dumping. You're using her as an unpaid therapist. She's not your partner in that moment. She's your employee. Her job title is man-keeper. It's her job to hold the space, to do the emotional labor, to plan the weekends that will distress you, to remember your mother's birthday, to absorb your mood and reflect back calm. And she does it, for a while, because she cares. But it is exhausting, relentless work. And she has her own chaos, her own stress, her own need for a soft place to land. But who is her therapist? It can't be you, because you're the one who needs keeping. This is the moment most men never notice. The moment she starts clocking out the invisible load. You see the big things, you see the anniversary, the birthday present, you think, I got the flowers, I did the thing, I'm a good guy. But you are blind to the invisible architecture she builds every single day to hold your shared life together. She is the one who remembers your friend's wedding is in 3 months. She is the one who knows you're out of shampoo and adds it to the list. She is the one who senses the tension between you and your father and carefully navigates the conversation at dinner to avoid a blow-up. She is the project manager of your relationship and you're the client. You show up for the meetings, you give your approval, but you have no idea about the thousands of tiny tasks, the mental spreadsheets, the constant quiet hum of management happening in her mind. And every single one of those tiny tasks is a withdrawal from her emotional bank account. She's making micro-investments in us all day, every day. And what are you depositing? You're depositing your stress. You're depositing your silence. You're depositing your expectation that she will continue to manage the ecosystem of your life. The balance is dropping and dropping fast. You won't see this coming because the statements are sent to an inbox you never check. The friendship famine. This is where the real damage begins. Look at your life. Who are your guys? Your real guys. The ones you can call at 2 a.m. and say, "I'm not okay," and they'll come over, no questions asked. For most of us, that list is terrifyingly short. Maybe it's 0. We have buddies. We have guys we watch the game with, guys we talk sports with, guys we work on the car with. But do we have brothers? Do we have a single person we can be emotionally naked with? A person we can tell, "I'm scared I'm failing," or "I feel so alone," without the fear of judgment, without the armor of humor? No, we don't. So where does all that go? That fear, that loneliness, that deep, gnawing need to be seen and understood in our pain. We offload it onto her. We make our girlfriend, our wife, our one and only emotional support system. She becomes our sole emotional outlet. We expect her to be our lover, our best friend, our confidant, and our therapist. It is a crushing, impossible weight for one person to bear. She didn't sign up to be your entire universe. She signed up to be a part of it. And when your universe is a black hole of emotional need, she has no choice but to fight the gravity or be consumed. This is the rise of man-keeping, and it's why women are abandoning the job, the exhaustion point. She doesn't leave because she stops loving you. She leaves because the cost of loving you becomes too high. Love should feel like building something together, but for her it starts to feel like a constant renovation project on a house that's forever on the verge of collapse, and she's the only one holding the tools. She's tired of carrying the emotional tool belt. She's tired of being the one who initiates the difficult conversations. She's tired of your defensive posture when she finally works up the courage to say, "Hey, this hurts." You see her concern as nagging. You see her attempts to connect as pressure. So you shut down, you retreat further, and that is the final straw. Because her exhaustion turns to resentment, and resentment is a quiet acid that eats away at the foundation of everything you've built. It doesn't scream, it just dissolves. One day she looks at you, and the love is still there, but it's buried under an avalanche of fatigue, and love is not enough to make her want to start digging again. Not by herself, the final silence, the breakup, the "I need space," the "I think we should see other people." That's not the end, it's the paperwork. The end happened weeks, months earlier. The end was a Tuesday night. You were on the couch, watching something on your phone. She was reading a book, or pretending to, and she looked over at you. She watched the way the blue light from your screen lit up your face. She saw you, completely absorbed, completely checked out from the world you shared. And in that moment, she felt a profound, devastating loneliness. The kind of loneliness you only feel when you're sitting right next to someone. And she made a decision, a quiet, internal click. She was done. She didn't say anything. She just closed her book. She went to bed, and she started the process of emotionally moving out. You were still living together, but you were already alone. You just didn't know it yet. This is the moment. This is the moment you will replay in your mind 1,000 times. The moment you didn't even notice, and right when you think it's over, it isn't. The real pain is just beginning. The delayed realization. You don't understand it in the moment. You're confused. You're angry. You feel blindsided. You tell your friends, "She just changed," out of nowhere. But it wasn't out of nowhere. You were just somewhere else. The realization comes later. It hits you in the empty apartment after she's gone. It hits you when you can't find your keys because she always knew where they were. It hits you when a small good thing happens to you, and your first instinct is to turn and tell her, and the space where she should be is just empty air. You realize too late that being emotionally stunted isn't romantic. It isn't being the strong, silent type. It's a form of selfishness. It's making your partner responsible for the weather inside you. You forced her to become a keeper of a man who refused to keep himself. And she, quite simply, resigned from the position. I didn't understand it then, standing in that kitchen watching the light go out in her eyes. But I do now. I understand it in my bones. So what's left? After the silence, after the truth lands like a punch to the gut, what do you do with the wreckage? You don't rebuild for her. That ship has sailed. You rebuild for the man you have to become. The armor you've worn your whole life, the armor of "I'm fine," the armor of humor, of distraction, of silence, it's too heavy. It's crushing you. The first step is to take it off, piece by painful piece. It means looking your own loneliness in the eye. It means calling a friend not to talk about the game, but to say, "I'm struggling, man." It means sitting with your own anxiety without running to a screen, a bottle, or a person to make it go away. You learn to become your own keeper. You learn to manage your own emotional world. You learn to plan your own life. You learn to sit in quiet room with yourself and not feel the need to escape. This is the inward work. This is the real work. It's not about becoming a perfect partner for someone else. It's about becoming a whole person for yourself. It's about building your own emotional support network so that when you do invite someone into your life, you're inviting them into a fortress, not a field hospital. You're asking them to be a partner, not a paramedic. You remember the quiet sigh. You remember the light going out. And you let that memory be your teacher, not your torturer. It's not her job to complete you. It's your job to be complete, and then to choose to share that completeness with another whole person. That is the only partnership that doesn't become a form of servitude if even one part of this felt like your life. If you've ever stood in a quiet room and felt the distance grow like a cold shadow, then you and I, brother, are built from the same scars. We've been the problem we refuse to see, and that means we can also be the solution. This isn't about blame. This is about clarity. This is about seeing the pattern, the slow drift into emotional isolation, and choosing to swim back to shore for yourself. So here's what I'm asking you to do. It's not a demand. It's an invitation from one scarred man to another. If this truth landed in your chest and resonated, if it named a ghost that's been haunting your relationships, then you're in the right place. This channel is about pulling back the curtain on these unspoken dynamics. It's about building that emotional strength, not for them, but for us. Hit subscribe, not because I'm asking you to, but because you know, deep down, that you need to hear more of this. You need to understand. You need to become the man you're capable of being. Stay with me. We have more to unpack. Now picture this. Picture yourself standing in that quiet room. Long after she's gone, the air is still. The silence is no longer your enemy. It's just silence. You look at your own two hands. They are not empty. They hold the tools to build your own life, your own peace, your own emotional resilience. You take a breath, a real one, deep and full, and for the first time in a long time you feel the weight. Not the weight of her disappointment, but the weight of your own potential, and you decide right there to finally choose strength. The choice is yours. It always was.